What's up, guys? There are some more things that you need to provide as an owner, as a leader, as the president, the CEO of your company to your people to keep your team, happy and productive and healthy, with minimal politics going on and a maximum level of trust. And so in order to do that, I'm going to list a couple of things that you need to figure out. If you don't have this figured out yet, you're going to have to figure this out so you can do the things that I'm telling you on this list so that you can build a better team and a better culture within your company. Because great culture is what's going to produce mass results for you and get a better outcome. Number one thing, not in any particular order, just number one, is time with you. They want to spend some time with you. They want to know that they're not just a number. They're not just a name on a whiteboard. They're not just a name on the schedule. They want to know that they have significance and they matter. And so how do you do that? Well, there's lots of different ways to do that, and I'm not going to go into them right now. We'll maybe touch on a few ways here in a moment. The next thing they need is appreciation. They need to know that you appreciate all their effort and their choices and their strategies and the progress that they're making. I've talked about this. That's how you want to praise. Progress, effort, choices, and strategy. So if you're doing that regularly and you find numerous ways to do that, it's not just what you say. It's, it could be gifts. It could be responsibility, extra responsibility that you give them, like leadership responsibility. Maybe help some of the other guys out on the team who maybe don't have the same experience as somebody who's crushing it. It could be lots of different ways. It could be sending a letter to the loved ones of that person, to let that person know just how much they mean to the business and what they do and how hard they work and how they're great problem solvers, and just point out some of their strengths and talk about some of their strengths. So numerous ways to give praise. And there was a guy named Marshall Lasada. He was a psychologist and a business consultant. And he worked with all types of businesses. And every single time when he found productivity was low and the results, like the deadlines weren't being hit and the results were not being met, he found that management, leadership, the owner was not giving enough praise. And so if they changed that and started genuinely giving heartfelt praise and appreciation, then the results showed up right after that. The productivity skyrocketed. The results started skyrocketing. So if you take the time to do this, it is well worth your time, and they deserve it. Everybody on the team that's working so hard, they deserve some praise and appreciation. Another thing, of course, I'm not even going to go into, but it's good pay, good benefits. So there's a lot of different benefits as a business owner. If you're a young business owner and you don't have but 1 or 2 employees, there's a lot of different benefits you can go get that cost you virtually nothing. Especially like supplemental benefits. It literally costs you nothing. Have them pay for it. But at least they have the option to get dental and eye or vision and some, disability insurance and injury insurance. And it's going to cost you nothing. It costs them a couple bucks a week out of their paycheck. It's very easy to set up. This is why you should have an accountant doing this stuff for you, because that makes it even easier, because you just delegate that to the accountant, have them work with the agency that you've hired to help you provide these extra additional benefits. Super simple thing to do. Why aren't you doing it? Relatively normal working hours. That's next on the list. So you've got to pay attention to who's working extreme amount of hours, and you've got to try to rotate the schedule or do whatever you have to do. Even if it's literally take no more calls after 4 p.m. for a couple of days so people can get a breather and spend some time with their family. No amount of money is going to be worth pushing everybody on the team so hard that they just want to leave. Now, a little bit of push, yeah, we have to. This is the business that we're in. But I'm saying you've got to pay attention to it and make sure not to completely burn somebody out to the point where they're just ready to quit and throw in all their chips and just be done. That's what we want to avoid at all costs. So we have to pay attention to how they're feeling. And that comes back to like spending a little bit more time with them and showing them more appreciation and developing that relationship so they'll talk to you and tell you when they have a problem. Everybody, whether we know it or not, we all want to be part of something bigger than just ourselves. You know it's true as well as I do that you'll do a lot more for other people than you'll do for yourself or a group of people. And so we've got to, as leaders, we have to help the culture of the business, help everybody understand this is way bigger than any one individual. You know, if one person leaves, the business isn't going to stop. It's just going to keep on trucking. And so everyone needs to understand that this is not just based on all of their efforts. It's a group, collective, teamwork deal. And, this is why I've talked about what's called leadership fatigue, or what it can be leadership fatigue, which is telling the same story over and over again, talking about what your mission is, your goals, your vision as the leader. Because you got to have a visionary in the business, and chances are, as an owner, that's you. So if you're going to lead your people, you have to share that vision and mission, and wherever it's going, it needs to include them. But you've got to say it over and over and over again, and you never stop this. That's your job as a leader, to never stop talking about the vision and the mission and where you're going and how you're going to get there. But people often do. They think, well, nobody wants to hear this anymore. But the reality is you never stop talking about it. And if you do and you give up, that's called leadership fatigue. You do not want that. So everyone wants to be a part of something bigger than themselves. They want trust. You've got to trust in them. And with trust comes, there's going to be some times where they make bad decisions. But you still have to support them. You've got to look at it and say, hey, you made a decision. I'm going to stand behind your decision no matter what. Of course, if there's something where it was wrong, well, we'll have a conversation about that and say, well, next time here's maybe how we should think about that, and here's what we do. But great job on just making the decision. I greatly appreciate that. Let them know that you appreciate that they have the guts and the courage to make a decision. That's how you build leaders. You made a bunch of mistakes making decisions. You're probably still making mistakes, because we all do. And that's a healthy thing, because that's how you learn. Well, your people have to make mistakes too. So if you're just micromanaging the living hell out of them, and you're not allowing them to, learn by taking the bumps and the bruises and the scrapes and the making the mistakes, well, then they're not going to ever grow as people. And that's the last thing you want your team not to do. You want them to grow. Next is unconditional support. You have to become a coach. This comes back all the way to number 1, which is time spent with you. Learning how to coach people is going to be an extreme benefit in your business, because you have to share your vision. Just like I said, your vision, your mission, your targets, your goals, like you share that with your team to get everybody on the same page, everybody rowing the boat in the same direction. Because if you got half the boat rowing this direction and the other half rowing the other direction, you're going to sit there and spin in circles and nothing changes. So once you get everybody rowing the same direction, one of the best ways to do that is to know what are they coming to work for every day? What's important to them? What do they love to do outside of work? Because the more that they can be a balanced individual, and you can help them do this by just reminding them to do the things that they love to do, then the happier they're going to be in their business or in their career working with you and coming to work every day and serving your customers and their customers. So we have to do these things. I'm going to touch real quick, and then, because this video is going long, I hope you've stayed till the end. But there are 6 basic human needs. I talk about this. I think I talked about it in my first book, Go Make Money. But we're going to cover them real quick, and I'm not going to go into detail. I will do that in another video. But everybody wants certainty. They want to know that, certainty can also be like the worst enemy of your growth and potential, because you want certainty just like everybody else does. And so that will sometimes keep us from trying something new or changing something up, or, and if we don't try something new and change something up, then we get the same results. So certainty, we all want it. We all want to know that We have a house to go to every night when we get done. We got somewhere that we call home that we can go home to every night when we're done working. We want we want to know that we can afford our next meal. That's certainty. There's a basic level of certainty, but then there's also bigger macro levels of certainty, and everybody wants them. Next thing everyone wants is uncertainty and variety. They want a little bit of change. They want a little bit of something new once in a while. So, there's going to be times where they're not getting these things. And if you're not providing them as the leader, they're going to get bored, stagnate, and want to leave. Another thing is significance. We kind of talked about that. Everyone wants to matter. Everyone wants to matter and know that they are significant. So another thing is love and connection. I've talked about this in the past, but you'll want to have everybody on your business go take the love languages quiz. It's like a 5-minute quiz. You just search love language quiz and find out what their love language is, and then just try to give them more of that, because that's how it helps to know how people feel appreciated, how they feel appreciated. Some people it might be gifts. Some people it's just attention. And once you know that, well, you can make sure to provide that for them. This also is something you want to do with your partner, your spouse. Go have each of you take the love language quiz and find out what it is that each of you need, so you can provide that and keep each other happy. So those are the primal needs. You got certainty, uncertainty, significance, love, and connection. Those are primal needs. We all need them. Then the other two needs are more like spiritual needs. And the first one is growth. Growth. You want to know that you're gaining some way in life. There's advancement. You're learning new things. Maybe you're climbing the ladder at work as far as your position and your rank. Maybe the amount of responsibility and maybe the job title, whatever it is, you want growth. We all do. If it's physical fitness, well, you want to be able to run farther. You want to be able to see a change in your muscles, so just growth. And then the last one is contribution. And we talked about kind of like a bigger cause, something bigger than themselves. So a lot of big, huge HVAC businesses, they've got something set up for their maintenance agreements where they'll pay a small portion, a percentage of every maintenance agreement to a cause bigger than themselves. Or there's only everybody's affected to say 3 to 4 causes. It's going to so if I have a choice as a customer, and you say I've got wounded warriors, I've got something with adopting animals like the Humane Society, something with kids, could be like Make-A-Wish or something. So one of those 3 things, if you had 3 different places that you donate a little bit of money to, somebody can feel good about that, and it's going to relate in their lives in some way. I mean, just those 3 things, you're going to touch almost everybody. And so if you notice, a lot of the bigger companies, they do this, but that's a good thing because it's contribution. And as a team member, as a coworker, you're part of that. And so any way we can contribute, that could also be contributing your time, your knowledge, your money, just some kind of contribution. So those are your 6 basic human needs. The last 2 are more spiritual. The first 4 are primal. But if you can do all of this stuff, and I know that's challenging, the main thing I wanted you to take from this video is to just listen to the video and then make sure that anything that I pointed and touched on that you're not currently doing, be sure to do more of that. And you're going to find that you're going to get better productivity and people, you just build a stronger team. And that's ultimately what it's about, because you can only do so much as an owner. You need other people to help you. No great amount of success was ever built with just one person. They may have been the driving force and the person who was constantly learning and sharing. They could have been that person, but it takes other people. So it takes team members. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Sorry it went pretty long, but valuable information. Use it right now, tomorrow. Do something for your people. the people who have decided to join you, what a privilege it is for you to get to lead them if you're a business owner or a manager. So lead them to the best of your ability and keep increasing yourself each and every day, each and every year, each and every quarter of the year. You've got to increase yourself so you can contribute more to your team. Get after it. Go make money. Boom.